What up, everybody? Thank you for joining us on another episode of Daily Smokes Presents. We are bringing to you the happiest hour, and I know the title of, above may say something a little different, but you know we had to clarify the title of the show, so please bear with us. But this is the happiest hour with Miss Danessa Bolling. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing fine. Before we get into everything, I do want to take a minute. Of course, we got to shout out our sponsors. If you could, Bangin' 832 Radio, bangin832.com. If you want to check out Daily Smoke episodes on there, they put up new episodes every Sunday. You can listen to them throughout the week. They have all kinds of radio stations, music, and all of that kind of stuff. So please check them out. Real down home, Houston-based radio station. So please check them out if you're interested. We also have Tamia's Touch of Care. You want to get with life, get a massage, please check her out at www.tamiaanderson.com. She's a licensed.
That'll rub you down.
There you go. She's a massage therapist extraordinaire. We actually got an appointment coming up with her. Ooh, I'm looking forward to that.
She's also a really great person. To me, it's the cool one. She's such a sweetheart.
As the old folks say, salt to the earth. That one.
She is. She's so funny.
But just cool, good-hearted individual. And so if you want to support a good person trying to do their thing, please check her out.
And she's a personal trainer.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
She's a personal trainer.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
See, okay.
Yeah.
We missing whole markets. Okay. So please check her out either for the massage or the personal trainer. And the South Park Coalition 35th anniversary show is coming up. So please check that out. You can get your tickets at Eventbrite. It's going to be on September 10th when I'm telling you Houston classic hip hop is in the house. Please best believe this is going to be an amazing show. So check that out. And of course, as always, if you want to know what's coming up, any of the things we talked about, www.thedailysmoke.com. And if you want to donate, $ TD Smoke. So please check that out with us. Appreciate that. Now, we got the business out the way.
It's my turn.
It is your turn.
So I know this is normally going to be my show,
right?
But today I'm kind of going to let you pose the questions, and we're just going to.
The only thing that I'm here to do is just help introduce you to our audience. I mean, if y'all been watching, y'all have seen Danessa on. She's been with us for a while now, and we've done even a few of her events, 2 of her events, as a matter of fact. So some people might be familiar with you, but this is going to be them seeing you in a whole new light. And so I'm just here to help ease you into it.
Facilitate.
Yes.
No better person to be sitting here with.
Here you go. So how are you, Miss Danessa?
Again, I'm well. I'm excited about this.
So the happiest hour is also the title of your last event.
Yes.
And so this show that you're going to be doing for us once a month, it's going to be every first Thursday of the month. So please be sure and check this out. This is going to be the inaugural episode, but the first Thursday of every month, we're going to be doing a new one of these. So, or she's going to be doing a new one of these, I should say.
You're not going to come and sit with me?
If you want me here, I will be here.
Okay.
I
might need you to come and sit, because Ron not going to act right. So.
Now, that's a whole nother conversation.
Caroline. Okay.
A whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
So, because this is sharing the name with your last event, I was just curious. How was that tie-in? How was your presentation on the show going to tie in with what you've been doing at your events?
So the first event was the first wellness event I did, which was last year on the second day of Kwanzaa, which is the day of Coochie Chagulia, Day of Self-Determination. So that's where the whole Coochie Chagulia thing came from. I did an overview of what the whole person wellness looks like, on what the wheel is about, kind of like just introducing this concept of whole person wellness to a broader audience, because while those of us in the treatment, counseling community, life coach, whatever, some of us are familiar with, and even many people in that community, in the mental health community, are not familiar with it. So I had to do an introduction of it, of what it was in the first place. And it was kind of what I did. I decided this first year of me going into wellness coaching, was just going to be like trying to test the waters.
Okay.
To see how it would be received, what people thought about it, kind of like educating the community on what it looks like.
Were you blown away?
I have been blown away more and more and more each time.
Okay.
Yeah. The first one that y'all came to, which was the one on spiritual wellness,
right.
There was a point there where I was just standing there going, oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that was a powerful event.
Yeah.
For those of y'all who missed it, man, I'm telling you, you missed something that was really special. You know, terms like that get thrown around real easy today, but that was special.
It was mind blowing.
Yeah,
and that one was really the first one was really great. I was pleasantly surprised at how well it was received.
Right.
You know, I didn't know if people, because many people there, I think, came just to support me. They knew it was me, and they were like just coming to support me. But I was surprised at how much people really got into it. How they got into the conversation, how many questions were asked, people were taking notes. I had them do vision boards, and how, you know, people were really into the vision board, and like, I don't think I allowed enough time for that, but I didn't realize how deep people were going to really get into it.
So they really got
into it, and so it was kind of like hard to stop them, because it was like, I had to like go and say, you can take it home. I remember that Tiffany was one of them. Like, Tiffany was really, you know, and Tiffany's already,
you know, but that's really not surprising. That's not surprising at all.
Really deep and intense anyway. Right. And I said, you can take it home. You know, and, you know, take some of the magazines and everything, and take your vision board on. Right. Because I did, you know, I wanted to kind of introduce the idea of it. I didn't know how people would receive it, but I do recommend when people do vision boarding to like sit with it.
Okay.
Like, really take your time and sit with it. I find for me, trying to do it in a room where it's like everybody's gonna make a vision board, I don't think that it's as authentic and thought through as if I take it home or wherever my quiet place is, whether that's the park or wherever it is that inspires me, and I sit with it there.
Right, because the point is you're supposed to think about what you're planning, what you're really trying to see for yourself, and what's coming forward. It's
to bring that which is on the inside out.
Right, okay.
And make it visual, however it needs to come out for you. So for some, it may be a lot of words. For some, it can be pictures. For some, it may be a combination of both. You know, and that's the beautiful thing about vision boards, is that it speaks to each individual.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's what they did the first one, and it was really great. But one of the things that came out of that one in doing the overview, and my theory had always been in doing wellness, whole person wellness education in the past, was that everything started in your spirit. I strongly believe that everything that we do in our life, each other dimension of our life, stems from what's in here. And so I kind of went with my gut and decided that the second one would be spiritual wellness, because I thought if I tackle spiritual wellness, then everyone can kind of see where they need to go.
Okay.
What's next for them on the wheel. That was my thought, was that, well, let's see each person when they do their vision board, they'll decide on where they need to go. And then I would have individual workshops so that wherever, like if you were a person who identified that you need to really work on your spirit, then I would do the workshop on spiritual wellness. You will come to that.
Right. Okay.
And, you know, and so on and so forth. Well, I just had people that just, like, they came to the first and they were like, well, yep, I'm showing up for spiritual wellness.
Right.
Too. I'm doing that too. And so it's like, cool, okay. And in spiritual wellness, it was like, okay.
Because after attending the second one, there's no way I was gonna miss the third.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm even if we hadn't, you know, done anything show related or anything like that involving with it, we.
And I think my next one, I don't want y'all to be working.
You sure?
I don't think so. I don't know. We're gonna have to figure out how to do that. Because what I don't want to happen is that you don't get the full experience because you're working.
I got you.
And so that was a concern. It was like, how can we do this where you still get the experience and you don't miss it? Because I will tell you this, the next one will be on social and relational wellness. And we're going there. Oh. If you think with emotional wellness went there.
So, okay. You said social and relationship wellness.
Yeah, social and relational wellness, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. So as far as social wellness, touch on that a little bit for me. I'm curious as to to what that means from as far as how you plan on like teaching.
So it's all about your connections.
Okay.
And so I didn't want to just say relational wellness because then people will think instantly intimate relationships.
Right.
And so relational wellness or social wellness is not just about intimate partner relationships. Actually, I kind of believe that all of your other relationships will impact how you relate in your intimate partner relationships too.
I could agree with that.
Yeah.
I could agree with that.
Yeah. And so we want to really talk about how we interact with one another, how we communicate with one another, how we relate to one another as friends, as community members, as co-workers, and yes, of course, as intimate partners. Because I think your intimate partner relationship is only as strong and as healthy as all of your other relationships. Think about it. You go to work and you're at work for 8 hours a day.
Right.
You may be in traffic, or you go to the grocery store, or you go to a football game, or you have your friends, or you have, the guys that you're on the podcast with here, or, there's so many ways that you interact with the rest of the world.
Right.
And then you go home to that person.
Okay, sure.
Or you choose that person. You're trying to find that person. And you have to relate to them.
Okay.
It's definitely going to be impacted.
Oh, of course.
And it will impact all of those other relationships.
For sure. I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I was married for 14 years.
Yeah, mine lasted 3. But there are many relationships after that. I just didn't stay in my dysfunction that long. I moved on to other dysfunctions. I moved on to other dysfunctions. That's all I
I'm hard-headed, It takes a while for me to learn lessons.
I was hard-headed. I'm just hard-headed with different people. And we'll talk about that.
Yes.
We'll talk about that, like how we choose. So I have to stop.
Okay.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I can walk in a room with 1,000, 100, whatever number females, and I can pick the one that has that such and such quality that I don't like? Have you ever thought something to that effect?
No.
Like I can walk into a room with 1,000 dudes, and I can pick the one cheater that's in the damn room.
I get what you're saying, but
you get what I'm saying?
I've never thought that to myself. Honestly.
You might not have. Have you ever said something like that? Yeah. Okay.
I thought to myself, I have some issues when it comes to choosing.
What's the issue?
That's a long list.
Do you think to yourself you attract a certain type of person?
A certain type of dysfunction. Yes.
You attract a certain type of dysfunction.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the ugly reality. You ready?
Okay.
Give me a hand. That's the one you was looking for.
I know.
You was looking for her.
Yeah.
You was like,
it wasn't on
accident. Look at you with them daddy issues over there. Come here, girl.
Boy, you struck the nail on the head with that one. Okay.
For real.
But see, this is what I love about her. She has a way of making this stuff extremely relevant. You hear stuff like, oh, we're going to talk about the wellness wheel, and it sounds cliche and sounds, like something, oh, that's some white people shit.
Okay.
But she takes this stuff and she makes it relevant, and she makes it so where you can understand how it applies to you in your situation. It's not BS. It's not BS. It really, if you understand the lesson she's trying to share with y'all, it really helps you understand yourself. It really helps you understand your place in the world and how you can kind of interact with a lot of different things and a healthy way to go about doing that.
Yeah.
So please be sure and y'all tune in, because this is going to be something to experience. I really believe.
And out of fairness, when I just picked on you and your relationship choices,
go for it.
I'll just go ahead and be transparent for a minute. So was it in undergrad? I don't know, because I went back and forth with college so much. It might have been undergrad, or maybe when I backtracked and went to get my associates. But anyway, I wrote a paper, and the real title of the paper was "The Making of Princess Save a Nigga." For the purpose of my very
Wait. No, you can't just slide past that. Okay, the making of Princess Save a Nigga.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, Princess Save a Nigga.
Please continue. I need to hear about this.
I kind of took it from E40, like Captain Save a Ho.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like Princess Save a Nigga. Like Princess Save a Nigga. And I had to change the title for my paper when I turned it in. But the real title, the original title of the paper was actually The Making of Princess Save a Nigga.
What did you wind up changing the title to?
Princess Save a Fella.
Safe. Okay.
I had to change
that was safe. It was
safe for the PWI.
Gotcha.
But there was The Making of Princess Save a Nigga. For real. And so in doing a lot of studying on family dynamics and having to sit there and do my own work. And I really thank God for the fact that I went about coming into the counseling field kind of weird. Like I came in as a substance abuse counselor first.
Okay.
Which meant I did a lot of studying on dysfunction and, all that stuff as it relates to what leads people to drug and alcohol abuse. Well, what that did was when I went back to finish my bachelor's and I ended up with a bachelor's degree in social science, it gave me a whole different perspective on everything that they were teaching because I had this addiction background that I had been working with and dealing with people's lives for years at that point. Like, by the time it was about 6 year gap by the time I went back and finished.
So you had been in the field for a while at that.
Yeah, I came into the addiction field in 2001.
Okay.
And then I went back and finished my I ended up finished my associates and my undergrad after that. But in doing my own work, I realized family dynamics and how things that had happened or that were said to me as a child had impacted my relationships growing up. Basically, I was still trying to take up for my dad. And I kept picking him so I could fix him. So people quit talking about him.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Ripped. Some deep shit. I had to break up with my daddy. Metaphorically.
Right.
And I've said this to a lot of clients across the years. It's like, you need to break up with your mama.
Right.
Like, you need to break up with that parent. So there was a moment, and I actually came across this moment in a spiritual counseling session where this lady was able to guide me back to this defining moment in my life where I started thinking certain things about myself. Like when I defined myself, I was 8 years old. And as we went through this exercise, it literally took me back to sitting at my grandmother's table. Now, my grandmother was my best friend. I was like, there's no one in this world I love more than my grandmother. But sitting at her dining room table, and I literally can see it. Like, there's a window there, this big table, china cabinet, me sitting there, her standing in the window. And I remember the moment where she said, "He doesn't love you. If he loved you, he wouldn't do such and such." And I don't remember I can't tell you exactly what the thing was that at that moment my dad supposedly had did or didn't do. Like, I don't remember what it was. It probably wasn't even something about me. It was more so about his relationship with my mom. Okay. They were still very bitter about the fact that, my mom and my dad didn't stick together, whatever. Right. But the 8-year-old heard, "You're not lovable."
And as a parent, you don't even realize how something like that can affect your children.
Exactly. Because kids translate something different. So then what you have is this grown-ass woman who is still picking relationships based on this thought process that I'm not lovable.
Wow. And
having to prove, because I tried to prove it to my dad, and I couldn't prove it to him, so I thought I had to prove it to him. That was my shit. That I had to prove to him based on that conversation that was had with an 8-year-old child that I wasn't lovable. And so what would I do? I would pick people in my relationships that I needed to prove that I was a good person to. Over and over. So that's why I said, so you pick what you're familiar with. At the same time, and I could pick people that almost mirrored my dad's personality in some ways. The bad part. Because what we pick is that which we want to fix.
Okay.
So my dad was limited education out of Alabama. the truth of the matter is my family, my maternal family, thought he was not good enough for my mom. I showed you pictures of my mom.
Right.
My mom was a tall, fair-skinned woman
woman
with the beautiful long hair. You know, she was a pretty high.
I'm trying to get invited to the family reunion, y'all. Her family is just gorgeous, man.
Yeah.
Like, don't think it's just Danessa.
Yeah. So he was never good enough for her in their eyes. And I come from a family of really domineering women.
Okay.
And so they were very domineering. They wanted to basically tell him how to run things, how to they wanted to control the relationship. They wanted to control everything.
Oh, wow.
They even, honestly, I was told they took me from my mom when I was born. Like, no, you ain't
It's our
ready.
baby.
It's our baby. Right. They took me from her.
Wow.
When I was born. But, you know, and they did all these things out of supposed protection, you know.
Looking out for her.
Looking out for me and all these type of things like that. And so they never accepted it. And so his truth, my father has held this conversation with me, and I've gotten to the point where I ain't protecting other people from the truth no more.
Mm.
So, you know, I have other siblings and shit. They may see it and hear this, and I don't know. But anyway, I don't protect them from the truth no more, because in the process of me protecting everybody else, I wasn't protecting me. And at one point I said, well, who the fuck is protecting me? You know, but what he told me was that, you know, they didn't accept him and he had to find someone who did. And so they were really, really upset with him about that choice.
Right.
But my dad came from a family that was more male dominant. And so you have totally different dynamics going on.
He didn't understand the world he had walked into. Yeah.
And he was a person who had already gone through a lot in his own life with, you know, dealing with rejection and what people thought about him and this, that, and the other. My dad and I have our relationship is our relationship today, is what I would say. It's our relationship. We understand each other today. Yeah. But just thinking about that, as an 8-year-old who has translated something that's been said to her as you're not lovable, and constantly hearing all these negative things about your dad. And I don't care how bad a parent is, no one wants to hear negative things about their parent all of the time.
Exactly.
Because kids take that on, that's about them. So you start trying to defend that. So that's how Princess Saber nigga was born. Mm-hmm. Because then I had to go and fix it. And like, I swear to you, relationship after relationship after relationship was with somebody I felt like I needed to defend from the rest of the world.
Okay. I have to say this just because the idea came to my head and I think it's brilliant. I think we got a new subject for Vanetta Berry to write another book about. Princess Captain Saber Nigga.
Yeah, Princess Saber Nigga.
Princess Saber Nigga. I think that needs to be a book.
Yeah, she can't have that title. She got to come with another title. I've been told multiple times I need to really write more details about all of this. But yeah, indeed.
So those things that are said to us when we're children, those experiences that we're having when we're children, they shape our ideas and concepts of ourselves, and so that affects how we react or interact with other people as we get older.
Mm-hmm. And how you define yourself, which is what? Your spirit.
Yeah.
What's on the inside of you. And so you think about that, if you're not lovable, if I'm not lovable to the people that should be close enough to me, then what type of friends do I pick? What type of casual relationship do I pick? What type of jobs do I think I'm good enough for? You know, how do I do in school? You know.
See, for me, it was the opposite. It was my father who I thought, well, not the opposite, but in his eyes, I didn't think that I was enough, essentially. Mm-hmm. Whatever definition you want to apply on that, enough.
Yeah.
And in my mind, as like a 4 or 5 year old, when they broke up, or 6-year-old, I might have been as old as 6. When my parents finally split, that was the thing. I blamed myself for that because I was the last born child. He stuck around for the other 3. Why didn't he stick around for me? Mm-hmm. Oh, it must have been something that was wrong with me. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I looked at that situation and I was just rejecting it. Yeah. You don't want me? Fine. I don't want you. You know? Mm-hmm. And so for a long time, I had problems with relationships with other dudes because of that.
Yeah.
You know?
You got it. Exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So
that's why that next one will be on. Yeah. Yeah.
It's really interesting. I think something along those lines can really provide a eye-opening experience for a lot of people, because until you stop and think about it, and I mean, I'm 47.
Mm-hmm.
It took me probably till my 40s before I came to some of these realizations on my own.
Yeah.
Now, if I had probably done what most people should do, which is go see a therapist, go talk to somebody, seek professional help if you actually feel like you need to, and there's no shame in that. So please do that if you feel like you need to, but just trying to figure it out on my own, it took me a while.
And can I say this about going find a therapist? Because some people, they will go, but they go to one person and it doesn't feel good. It's not the right fit. And so they think, nope, I told you therapy wasn't for me.
A therapist is
and
like
they
a
won't
relationship.
go. It is a relationship. And so you have to find the right relationship. And so one thing for me, when I was actually doing therapy practice, I would tell all clients at intake, I would explain that to them. I'm not for everyone. This is my approach. This is my thought process. This is how I interact with clients. If it's not for you, it's okay. I will connect you to someone who I think is a better fit for you. I even have referrals sometimes where I would instantly know I'm not the right person for them.
Right.
And I would nope, I don't think this is a good match for me. It wasn't at one point, it was probably running from certain things. But then it became just knowing, if I'm the right person to help this person.
You develop an intuition about it.
Yeah, because it's not about ego. Good therapists are not caught up in it. Therapists are not caught up in the ego. They want to connect the client to the best help for them.
One of my children sees a therapist on a regular basis, and it took us. She was the third therapist that we had to try before we found a good fit for her. And it it's a process.
Yeah,
it's a process, and don't go into it thinking that you're going to be able to just find the right person first time. I mean, you might get lucky. There's no
you might. I will tell you, and I will say this too: get you a therapist and have a therapist. I'm so serious. Like, they need to have somebody on speed dial too, because you can't spend your days taking on other people's stuff all day and be healthy if you don't have somewhere to do something with that. Let that out. So get your therapist that has a therapist. At least it has one that if they're not going every month, week, whatever, that they're going when they need to. They got somebody on speed dial that they can call. Real, I'm so serious. Like, no. I don't think you need therapy for ever intensive therapy. I don't believe in that. I think that, which is one of the reasons why I want to do wellness coaching instead of therapy. Okay. I just think at some point you get better and you're able to transition into more of a coaching model versus intensive therapy. But I will tell you, the first time I went, the first person I tried, I was sitting there analyzing her skills. I was like, she was like doing, and I was like, oh, that's cute. She's doing a back inventory. Oh. I was like thinking of suggestions and stuff for her. So like, I felt so sorry for her. I was like horrible client. Like, and she was like kind of fresh out of. She was like, she was under supervision too, so she was like still
nervous about it.
Yeah, that whole thing. Like, she gave me an exercise. She gave me this coloring sheet, and it was just supposed to be something to help me de-stress.
Okay.
But it was like this rose garden and this labyrinth and stuff like that. Okay. And so when I brought it back, I had like broke the whole thing down and explained to her why I colored certain things certain way and why I did this, that, the other. And she goes, oh, it was just a coloring exercise to help you de-stress, but that's great. Like, you put more thought into it. She didn't know what to do with that shit. Like, I was like, this is the wall that separates this, and purple is my favorite color, so I have to protect my purple flowers from everyone.
Oh, you have a whole backstory for the.
I had a backstory for the whole thing and why I did this, that, and the other. And she was just like, it was an exercise to help you not stress.
And you made it.
But then you put more thought into it. That's great.
One time, I want to say this was, I don't know if you remember this trend where the adult coloring books became like a big thing. Mm-hmm. And so I went out and I was like, I like to color stuff sometimes. So I'm like, I'll buy one of these and see what it's like. that coloring book was the most stressful thing I could have ever possibly bought.
Just go to the dollar store, get you. First of all, I'm sorry, coloring book community, but paying $8-9 for a damn coloring book because you say it's for adults is
Right.
some bullshit. I can go in Dollar Tree and spend me like a good $1.50 and give me a nice coloring book.
I should have just got me like an X-Men coloring book and went on about my business. You know what I'm saying? And been happy.
I'm not paying you extra because you labeled it for an adult. I'm going
And
to
it was-
Dollar Tree.
And the thing about it was, what suckered me in was that it had really pretty pictures in it. It had really pretty pictures in it, but they were so intricate and so much detail into it. If I had actually tried to color it just stressed me out.
No, they get too complicated. Like, no, that's too deep. I just want to color. That's it. I ain't doing all that. Anyway, so,
I'm going to Dollar
I'm
Tree.
going to Dollar Tree. So, for my next therapist, when I had a total really bad meltdown, like really, really bad. Like I knew I was going crazy. I was like, you are fucking losing it, and you cannot control it right now. And so
I have such a hard time imagining you losing
oh
something
God,
like that.
no! Let me
Really?
tell you something, Jonathan. Crawling across the floor, trying to just get to the shower and begging them to not call 911. Literally saying, no, I promise. I don't know what, my brain had enough left in it to say I needed to get to church and I knew who I needed to ask for when I got there. And I kept saying, no, just get me to this person. I promise. If you just get me to this person, I'll
You'll
be okay.
Yeah.
I'll be okay. But literally, I was crawling on all fours to the shower to get into the shower. And I kept going, please, not right now, not right now, not right now. Like I was literally trying to talk myself. Like I felt it coming and I couldn't stop it. Like the gears in my brain were like, here. And it was locking up. It was really locking up. And, but through that episode, and what this person that I was asking for identified when she came and prayed for me was that I had a soul tie.
Okay.
It was a soul tie. And so, yeah, they prayed over me. I threw up and shit like the exorcism.
Yeah. Please don't tell me your head did
It didn't spin or anything, but it was like literally like.
Because if your head did the 180, I might have to go.
No, literally like soul ties. Like you gotta watch you. That's the whole thing about the relational. You gotta watch you lay down with like you. Yeah. That's deep shit. But anyway, I ended up with this therapist there, and I ended up with this elderly Jewish lady.
Okay.
And the day I knew I had the right therapist, because I would go in with my work badge and shit on, I'm like,
Flexing.
Yeah, like,
Just a slight flex.
like, okay, I'm coming to see you,
Like,
but
I'm not a lay person.
yeah, exactly, right? And I walked in and with one of my sessions, and I said, she was talking to me, and she said, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, you know how we do.
Okay.
And that lady put her pen and her pad down, and she said, Danessa, let's get one thing clear. And I'm looking at the old white lady. She said, when you walk through that door, there's only one therapist in this room. We are not equal. You are a client.
Okay.
I was pissed. I'm like, ooh. She said, bitch.
Who you think you talking to?
Man, you got I did my time too.
But that's the point. You're there for therapy.
I was hot that day. I would let her schedule my appointment. In my mind, I was like, I ain't coming back. When I came back the next time, I literally turned my phone off, took my badge off, and threw it to the side.
So how long in between those two visits?
It was the next visit. She was surprised I came back because she knew she had pissed me off.
Okay.
She knew she had pissed me off, but I walked in her office the very next time, and I would still have my ID badge and stuff on. I literally took my badge off, threw it to the side, took my phone, and turned it off. And it was like, nah, man. And she looked at me and she said, oh, you're ready. I'm surprised you came back. That's when I was ready. But I knew I had the right person because I knew, and being honest with myself, I knew the type of counselor I was. So I knew I needed a strong person. And for her to put my ass in check in that session, I knew I had the perfect. I wouldn't go to anybody but her to this day.
So would you say that internal honesty that you had to have in order to be able to come back to her.
Oh yeah.
That's, at least in my experience, that's one of the things that's hardest to achieve.
Yes. Yes.
That internal honesty.
Yes.
Because it's real convenient sometimes to lie to yourself.
Yeah, especially when you're invested in defending who you are.
Mm-hmm. Or
Like,
who you think you are.
Who you think you are, who you present yourself to be. You're invested in that. And, how dare somebody call that out? Like, I worked hard to put on this facade.
It took years to build this up.
It took years to build this,
So in a way, that process is breaking you down. It's breaking down that exterior.
Yeah.
And it's getting to the real person behind that.
Yeah. And so with this wellness model and just doing these coaching, these seminars, these talks, and even this show like this, it's a very non-threatening way to open the door to the conversation. Right. Because we have to take in the effect of the fact that our culture has just not been one that has openly promoted therapy or talking. We were always taught to shut up and don't talk.
And that's, I think, one of the saddest things about our community. Yeah. To begin with, it's because we've been through the most. Mm-hmm. We need the most help.
Right.
Out of anybody else in America, we need some healing as a culture. Yeah. It's.
I didn't think about it all the way back to slavery. Like, Harry didn't have time for you to process your goddamn fears when she showed up with the Underground Railroad. You scared? I'm gonna shoot your ass. You better come on. You think about that.
I've seen videos where they talk about how she used to knock out baby when they was traveling through the Underground Railroad so they wouldn't cry and get away. And of course, my immediate thought was this heifer was knocking out baby.
Shut your ass up.
But it turns out she was giving them like herbs and stuff like that to make them sleep. Right. So she'd knock them out.
Okay, but we were taught to numb ourselves with herbs and shit, so we don't think about stuff right there. How would you think about it? Like, seriously.
Hey, look, I'm okay with the numbing myself with herbs.
I mean, just think about that part. Even in slavery, you were always taught, whether you were enslaved or searching for your freedom, you did not have time to process your fears. You didn't have time to process the things that you were really thinking. You didn't have time to process, but I'm gonna miss this person. You couldn't process grief.
No, because
let's go.
And you had no choice in the matter.
Suck it up. Don't make all that noise. That's it. So this stuff has been ingrained for years.
And that's really how we teach children to be, to a certain extent. Instead of actually talking about what they feel, instead of actually being able to understand that what's the word I'm looking for? Emotional maturity. Mm-hmm. They don't. As a community, we don't teach our kids that emotional maturity because a lot of us don't have it to begin with, or we don't get it till later on in life because of the difficulties and things that we've done without getting any help.
Yeah. In addiction, one of the theories with addiction is that at the age that a person becomes dependent on the substance, that is the age at which they stop maturing.
Really?
So if a person started using illicit drugs at 15 and they're 45,
that's just where they stop.
That's you got a 15-year-old
walking around in a
5-year-old body. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because they're processing life from the perspective at the age that they learn to cope.
Or you could say because of the addiction at the age that they learn to stop coping.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that became the coping mechanism.
Right.
That became the coping mechanism at that point. And so when you're trying to get this person to be emotionally well, you got to go back to what the damage was. Like, what happened? And for many people, that question is never asked. Like, what happened? Mm-hmm. There's a video, if you ever get to watch it. Her name is Tanya Kane, but they called her Mean, and it's called Healing Mean.
Okay.
And she had been arrested like 60 something times, I think, like that. I know she had like 87 arrests, 61 convictions, or something like that. She had been just in and out of jails, prisons, institutions, all kind of stuff like that. And nobody could figure out what the hell was wrong with her. Like, she just kept cycling in and out and stuff like that. And the moment that changed her life was when someone asked her, instead of saying, "What's wrong with you?" someone said, "What happened to you?" And then she was able to start unpacking and healing. Just asking that question, like, what happened?
Isn't it amazing how, in a situation like that, you're asking what's wrong with you, but what you mean is
what happened?
What happened to you? But that turn of phrase, rephrasing that question in the right way, can mean so much to the person on the other end of that question that it allows them to actually change their life. That's amazing.
And so you think to our session on spiritual wellness, without just going around the room and asking everybody, what happened to you? Let's just talk about spiritual wellness and what it looks like and what it doesn't look like. And then all of a sudden, everything started coming out.
You opened some faucets.
That was like
you opened some faucets in there.
Yeah, like what happened? Because it was all about how we define certain things. If we can share it, like you talked about being a parent.
Yeah.
And certain things that happened with your marriage and how with the marriage and parenting and how that started to define you in certain ways. I remember you said something about there was a moment with your daughter where she said like you were the best dad and she couldn't imagine anyone else. Yeah. And it was very emotional for you.
Yeah. That was tough.
Yeah, and I think it was probably because what she said and what you acknowledged in that moment probably totally contradicted everything you had been telling yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, even growing up, you have that issue of never seeing yourself as enough. And so when somebody from the outside comes and gives you that validation, it carries so much weight. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it feels so good, it almost hurts.
Yeah.
Because you're so unused to it. You're so unused to, if your internal talk is that negative as far as, when I was down at my lowest, if your internal talk is that negative, when somebody speaks a positivity into you, oh my God. It's like, light doesn't hurt you, but if you've been in a dark room for a long time and somebody turn on the light, your eyes are going to be like.
And then can you always receive it when they turn on the light?
Oh, that was a lesson in and of itself too.
Can you even receive it?
That was a lesson.
Because again, if I take you back to the 8-year-old who was told she wasn't lovable, and then across the years when I remember when guys would like try to approach me or say something, I would always look at them like, what you want? And then it didn't take much. I remember, and my mom, God rest her soul, I love her to death, and I love her past death now. I remember there was one time I was at the laundromat, I was in Denver Harbor, laundromat across from Burt's Meat Market.
Okay.
So put my clothes in the washing machine, everything. Decided I'm gonna go to Burt's, give me a cup of boudin. And I had on these baggy pink sweatpants. I had my daughter like few months before, but I still had my baggy sweatpants from there. And I had on these like little slides and selling Fiesta Mart. And I had my daughter's father, I had one of his baseball caps on. Okay. But I hadn't really come, so I had turned it to the back. I had just like turned the hat to the back because I was washing clothes. Big t-shirt. And I went across the street to Burt's, and this guy comes running out as I'm leaving the store. And he's like, excuse me, can I talk to you for a minute? And I'm like, and he goes, I just wanted to know if I could like get your name.
No,
give you my phone number, like, can I call you? And I looked at him and I said, I don't have food stamps. And he said, what? And I said, I don't have food stamps. I said, I know that's what y'all do. Y'all stand behind that counter and watch the people buy, and you try to plot on who got food stamps for you to come and live off and eat off. I don't have food stamps. Who the hell thinks like that, right?
Wow.
Who the hell thinks like that? And so, dude tried to fix it. He said to me, I never got it. He started laughing. He said, no, really, I just feel like anybody that can look that fly in that outfit and still be beautiful, I just want to get to know you. I just want to think you're cute. Okay, you give me a number. Give me your beeper number. You don't beeper that. Give you my beeper number. You
Ooh,
beat me.
Lord.
You beat
She
me.
said, give me your beeper number.
Your beeper
Lord.
number, right?
Right.
So I go across the street, and my mom asked me who was that I was talking to. And I tell her the conversation. And my mother says to me, girl, you just look like you need somebody. 8-year-old Danessa shows back up. See, even she know you not lovable. I know that wasn't her intention.
Right.
But again, you got to think about how you translate things and how it shows back up. Like, I think what happens is we start looking for evidence of it.
So would it be fair to say that when, like we talked about with the addiction, with the addict, at the age where the addiction starts, that's where they stop emotionally maturing. And maybe not as such a deadlock, but at the age where we're hurt, in some ways we stop maturing right there.
Mm-hmm. We can stop emotionally maturing right
You're
there.
right. That's what I mean. Yeah. Emotionally.
Definitely so. Definitely so. Which is why after the session on spiritual wellness, it became clear there were so many like wounds open up in the room. I literally, after that session, I think you guys know I checked in on you all.
Right.
I checked on everyone that attended that session. Every single person that attended that session, I reached out to them within a few days afterwards and said, I just want to make sure you're okay. Because there was so much deep, like, you never, professionally, Ron will tell you this, you never open a person up like that and you can't patch them back up.
Right.
Or at least be able to go back and revisit it. You don't leave the wound. It's like a doctor can't cut you open in a hospital and just walk out the room and go, okay, I got that out.
No, you
can go now. Like, no, I need you to clean this shit up.
Close it back up and make sure they heal okay.
Make sure it's healed right. You can't just go in there and take the shit out and leave me wide open, right? So I had to do that after that session.
Yeah, you did.
But I also realized in that session, it was like, oh, well, now that we've unpacked the spirit, now we need to deal with what happens because of that spirit and talk about emotional wellness. Not just from, and not this time, I ended up doing it, not just from an individual perspective, but from a community perspective, which I thought was really fascinating. We were actually able to do that whole dialogue.
That was really cool.
Like, to do it from a community perspective, because how do we learn? We learn a lot in community.
I mean, human beings are wired that way.
Yeah.
We're supposed to exist in a community. Yeah. And so that's, our brains are wired, in other words, to be able to learn from our environment and the people around us. Mm-hmm. And when you have a like-minded community or people who are at least open to certain ideas, it makes it a lot easier to learn these kind of concepts. I'm thankful I find myself in this situation, not only having the opportunity to meet you and attend your events and be able to kind of learn some things that on a level that I knew but maybe didn't know how to verbalize and didn't know how to put into actual words. And then not only that, but to be able to sit and talk with you and to have these kind of conversations and to be able to kind of pick your brain a little bit as far as like some of the things that's wrong with me, because Lord knows there's plenty. But
I think at that point I was right. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay.
See, something just flashed in my brain, and I was like waiting for a window. I was like, oh, well, if there's a window for it, okay, God, I'll go in. And then you just gave me the window.
Okay.
So there was an episode that you guys did, and I remember I wasn't present for it.
Okay.
Oh man, I can't think what the topic was, but I do remember talking to you. You were talking about how people see us and don't see us, and in that episode, you said something about that when people see you, all they see is the disability.
Right.
Remember that?
I do remember that.
And do you remember what happened after that episode?
Yes, I do.
Would you like to share?
See, I mean, you checked in on me. And you had some things to say, and they were true. They were very true.
Well, yeah. And one of the things I said to you was, Jonathan, I didn't notice. I didn't notice it the first time I met you. Like, the first time I met you, I did not notice that. I didn't notice it until you made a wisecrack about it, and I was like, oh, okay. But it was like the first thing I noticed.
But in honesty, that made me. I won't say that made me realize, but it made me acknowledge. I'll say something that I do, and in my mind, it's first.
Mm-hmm.
And it may not be in everybody's, but sometimes I project that on people,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that's one of the things that I'm working on. Is I'm working on stopping to project my own insecurities onto other people. Because it's something that adds to that equation of not being enough,
Mm-hmm.
and because of that, it sometimes limits me on how I interact with people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things that it's tough for me to talk about because it's at such of a core, of who I am. It's just it's been with me my whole life, so it's one of those things that I've just had to do.
Yeah. So are you following now why it was important to do the overview of what wellness looked like, and then after doing spiritual wellness, how it instantly it couldn't go anywhere
but
emotional wellness. So are you following this trend as to why social and relational wellness is next?
Yes.
It has to be next. It has to be next.
And this event is gonna be in
October.
In October.
So I was trying not to have it. I was going to do it October 8th at first, but then I didn't want to clash with a friend of mine's event, Angie from Go Girl Active. Go Girl Active.
Shout out to Go Girl Active.
Shout out to Go Girl Active and Angie. So I didn't want to clash with. She's expecting, and I didn't.
Congratulations!
Got a little diva, a little Go Girl in the oven, and I did not want it to clash with the weekend of her baby shower.
Okay.
And so I was going to switch it to October 22nd, which ironically is the weekend before my birthday. But so I'm going to actually, Tiff has given me some leads on some possible new venues because, I was not happy with the last venue. Hold on. He's re-traumatizing me.
With the Popeyes?
With the Popeyes. And I like Popeyes. I don't want Popeyes in the daggone warm at any one of my events. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
We won't do Popeyes again.
Thank you. And shout out to y'all for keeping me together during that event. Y'all kept me together. So, yeah. Talk about emotional wellness. I was like, do I have to live it right now?
do I have to be going through it as I'm trying to teach it?
Right. But so it'll be one of those weekends in October, either the 8th or 22nd, or I'm honestly thinking about the 8th because that would be exactly 90 days from the emotional wellness event. So that's why the 8th is sticking out to me.
Okay.
Or the 22nd. I don't know why I skipped over the 15th. I don't know why. But the 22nd, there's something going on the 15th, I'm sure. Or I may do it the 29th because the 24th is my birthday.
Okay.
And that starts my joy year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, my 54th year of life is going to be my joy year.
Right. Because of your mother.
Yeah. And so I may not do it that weekend, but because I want to record this show.
Okay.
The Saturday after my birthday. So, yeah.
Oh, that's going to be an interesting show.
Yes.
I can't wait to be there for that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but October. So I will hopefully get the date out. I want to get the date out early. So hopefully within the next week or so, I will get the date out. Have a concrete date for everyone.
Oh, we're going to blow it up once you do.
I love our community. Social and relational wellness. Come on now.
Yeah.
If you think about our interactions, the way that everything has expanded since you guys came to the second event, that's an example of social and relational wellness right there.
True.
It really is, because how this community of people who were perfect strangers have come together, but they feed off of each other and they nurture each other. You think about that. Like, you guys came and you didn't know anyone in the room but me. Like, I knew Ron, and then he introduced me to you guys, and then you all came to the event, and so there was this different audience of people that were there from the event that came and introduced themselves to you, And out of that, you were able to build relationships. And through those relationships, now this platform has transformed and grew, and there are constantly people being brought in there. That's what being social and relationally well looks like.
What's that? That expression I hear, they say you're the sum of the people you spend the most time around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if that's the case, then I'm in good company.
Yeah. Well, as iron sharpens iron, so one friend sharpens another.
Wow.
Yeah.
So good. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody care because you're cute. Don't nobody care because
Yeah, they did.
just a little bit.
Today I don't deny it. I be like, I know. Thank you. Not cocky confident. I'm all right with me. I'm all right with me today. I'm work in progress. I'm going back to the gym Saturday.
Oh.
Pray for me. Extend the right hand of fellowship down the freeway.
You gonna get you one of them outfits from Angel Burns?
I'm gonna get one of hers too, but you do know I'm gonna get one of Angel Burns' outfit because I wanna promote her too. Yeah, but I have Go Girl Active has a pair of leggings that is named after me, so I have to wear those.
Oh, okay. By all means.
But I do want to support some of Angel Burns and stuff too. We gonna support who support
Oh
us.
yes, for sure.
So definitely and it looked like she had some good. I saw the outfit she had on. I liked it.
It was cute.
Yeah, and she a thick chick. I like that.
Yes.
I like that. Anytime thick chick can rock something, I'm gonna buy it. Yeah. I'm serious. I'm gonna buy it. I support. I'm telling you, this kimono. Look, I'm gonna plug everybody. So Jamie Clark, So Posh Boutique. This is Jamie. Jamie's one of the people that dresses me.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I love it.
But it's cute though.
I thank you. That's all she do. That's what Jamie does. Jamie, that's what she does. So yeah, we're gonna shop over house. You want me to wear your stuff? Let me know.
And we will promote it.
Yeah, we're gonna promote it.
All right.
Until they give me a daggone t-shirt. Then put my t-shirt on under my kimono and rock it.
Oh yes. Don't worry, it's coming.
Okay.
It's coming. Don't worry.
Okay.
And we're gonna make Los do one with your face on.
With my face on. We gotta pick. Can we do Stagecoach Nessa?
Whatever you want.
Oh.
I think Stagecoach Nessa wins. Well, no,
yes.
'cause we gotta do a headshot like
Yes,
y'all
we can
got,
do,
right?
we can do Stagecoach Nessa. And on that note, thank everybody for joining us on this inaugural
We can do
episode
Hood Nessa.
of the
I can
happiest
like
hour.
Bobby like this.
Oh yeah.
Hood Nessa would come out, and she could be on the show like this, or like this.
And underneath that, you can make it say,
Nah.
Nah.
That's why black folk can't have nothing nice.
Nothing.
Anyway, but thank y'all for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I know I
Angel
did.
Danessa.
Anyway,
Danessa, Lady D,
Lady D,
Hood Nessa, Stagecoach Nessa.
Hood Nessa when you can piss her off.
How you going for that? First Thursday of the month. Remember, you get your check, get your food stamps, tune into the Daily Smoke.
Happy hour.
For your happy hour.
The Daily
You
Smoke
gotta-
presents the happiest hour.
You gotta
when
check
you
it
get your
stamps.
food stamps.
You can get your food stamps. You can't go to first no more.
Everybody get paid.
Everybody get
Right.
paid. You gonna get your
and
check.
come get your emotional
And come
wellness.
get your emotional wellness. Yeah, join me for real. Seriously, join me. Let's live our best lives.
Yes, we would definitely want to try to help you do that. So please tune in every first Thursday of the month. We're going to help you. And Miss Danessa here, and I don't know if y'all can tell just from this conversation we had. And don't get me wrong, I know we played around a little bit, but at the same time, the woman does have a gift for being able to help people. And I hope that came through tonight because she's extremely talented. If you have the opportunity to talk with her or even learn from her, you are going to be a much better individual because of it. And I can honestly say she has helped me to even improve my life. And I don't think she realizes that she's done it yet, but she really does. So thank you for joining us on the first episode of The Happiest Hour with myself, Brother Jam, and Miss
Danessa Bolling. Lady D.
D.
Lady D. Can I be Lady D?
You can be Lady D.
I can be Lady D. Next time we get
baby, we're gonna have your ripple. We're gonna have you some.
Inside of y'all.
We're gonna have you some ripple and some onion stew.
Right. So if you did not watch yesterday's episode, go back and watch it. Hit the like button, like Lo say.
Right.
Hit the like button. And tell a friend to hit the like button.
Right.
And then you'll know about ripple.
I'm your boy, Brother Jam, and this is Lady D, and we are signing off. Thank you for joining us on the first episode, and we hope you join us again on the next one.
Come back to the Daily Smoke.